Bless you, brothers and sisters. We are the brothers from the Gathering of Christ Church, here to deal with a profound topic tonight. We thank the Most High, Ahaya Bashim Yeshaya, Rawak. That's the Most High in the name of Christ, whom most people in this earth call Jesus, and the Holy Spirit is Rawak. We thank the Most High for allowing us to come to you with a very profound and in-depth topic. The topic this evening is the satanic connection from Babylon to Rome to America. Through this teaching, a lot of mysteries will be uncovered. A lot of understanding will come through the Spirit of the Most High out of these scriptures. If you have a Bible and Apocrypha, you can follow us. We will attempt to bring forth understanding that have been hid from ages and generations, like it says in Colossians 1 and 26. We will attempt to show you that the worship in this earth is connected to ancient Babylon, and that these spirits were carried over from the beginning, from empire to empire, and that the gods we're worshiping in this earth today are satanic, and that there's a small remnant in the earth, a very small remnant that's dealing with the truth of the Most High, that would understand and that would come to this knowledge. And we hope by these teachings that we can touch those elect. Also, you have the research to research yourself. We have a plethora of books here, many books, that if you don't believe what's being taught, you can research it yourself. All right? And if you decide to continue to deal in religion after you've received all this information, then that's a choice that you make at your own peril. Okay? We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to show you that Satan had a plan. We're going to show you who he was from the beginning. His plan was to be God. Okay? And that he would use any means, government and religion, to one day attempt to be ruler of the universe. Government and religion. Just remember that. And he's very deceptive, this serpent. He was able to hide himself and even appear to be God to the unlearned and the ignorant, and those that are attached to superstition or tradition. So in order to expose this deception, we must go into the Holy Bible. Not just any Bible. We use the King James Version. The King James Version is what we use, because it closely correlates to the Hebrew. We also use the Apocrypha, the King James Apocrypha. Alright? For those that are fairly new, that have not been following us, we have an original 1611 King James Bible. Alright? In the 1611, you see the Apocrypha. So if you don't have an Apocrypha, you're not learning from a complete Bible. Alright? Now, what is the satanic connection between ancient Babylon, Rome, and America? And we're bringing this forth also because we're living in a country right now, America, that we know that according to the scriptures is called Babylon. It's the virgin daughter of Babylon. Same worships. We're going to prove that. The same deities and gods of ancient Babylon that was carried from the beginning, before the flood. But Satan, being a serpent and deceptive, being very deceptive, was able to hide this fact from the people. Make you think that America just showed up from nowhere and that it's not written anywhere in the scripture. They'll even make you believe that the Babylon that's written up in the scriptures that will be destroyed is Rome. Okay? But we will show you beyond any shadow of a doubt that Satan moved from empire to empire. Alright? When people were worshiping and following Nimrod in the past, they were so deceived they thought they was following the Most High. We're going to show you. And that's through every empire. When we look back at it, we can say it's satanic, but the people that were living in those societies thought they were doing the right thing. In pagan Rome, in Babylon, in Egypt, they were following traditions, customs that was handed down to them, and they thought they were doing the right thing. Now we're here in America. And I know this will get throughout the world, but for you in America, are you following the true God written of in the Bible, or are you following traditions and superstition and religion that was handed down through the serpent? Get your Bible, followers. We're going to go to the beginning. Let's go to Genesis 3:1. Because in order for us to know if there's a satanic connection between Babylon, Rome, and our modern day America, we must first go to the spirit that's behind giving these empires, that have given these empires power. The origin of this serpent. Genesis 3:1, read.
Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have the Most High said, Ye should not eat of every tree of the garden.
So, we know the story. There's a tree of good and evil in the garden. The Most High told Adam not to touch this tree. That as long as he's on the earth, he must only eat from the tree of knowledge. The tree of life, excuse me. With the tree of life, it would make Adam immortal. But the serpent went to the woman. Okay? He sees an opportunity to get dominion in the earth. Woman, and said, you're not going to die. Because the Most High know if you go and eat this tree of good and evil, you'll be like gods. You go eat that tree of knowledge, you'll be like gods, to understand both good and evil. Alright? Deceptive. He didn't go to Adam, because Adam would have checked him. He went to Eve. And Eve took it to Adam. And through that, the serpent gained power in the earth. But that's him in the earth in the garden. Let's go to the 15th verse.
Verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed.
So after Eve was deceived, and fell to this serpent, this spirit. His spirit had an agenda. There was a curse that was put on mankind, that man had to till the ground now. That man would one day die. And this is the curse that was laid out. That he would put enmity between the woman's seed and the serpent's seed. Read that part again.
Verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed.
Go ahead.
And it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
So, the Most High was showing a war, a spiritual war, that would manifest itself in the physical. That until the consummation, Satan's seed would be in variance, continual variance, against the woman's seed. Continual variance. So all through the earth, until the consummation, from the beginning, there will be a battle between good and evil, and it would manifest itself in the physical. Alright? So now, in order for Satan's seed to battle against the woman's seed, he must get dominion in the earth. And through this dominion, eventually take down and destroy the righteous seed in the earth. And you're going to find he would use men determination for power, and vanity, government, and religion. You must get them through what they believe and their institution of life. He did this through each society. And I'm pointing this out because we're taught that the God in the Old Testament was this bad guy. He was a different God. That's why we don't read the Old Testament. There's too much killing and too much bloodshed, too much back and forth. That's what we're taught. But we don't know why there was so much bloodshed. You're going to find out that there were bloodshed because of these two seeds battling in the Old Testament. The Most High, through each of these wars in the Old Testament, was putting his seed, which is his chosen people, in variance against the serpent seed. And each time these wars would escalate, the serpent would get away and started in another government. Yes. Government and belief. We're going to show you. I need you to go to Luke 10 and 18. And I'm going here because we have to give you the mindset of this serpent. His origin. His agenda. Luke 10 and 18.
St. Luke 10 and 18.
Read.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as a light falling from heaven.
Read it again.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
So Christ says he beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. When did he beheld? It says, I beheld, to let you know that the Spirit of Christ was there in the beginning. And he beheld that spirit that's in Satan hurled from the heavens. He's seen that spirit hurled or thrown to the earth. That's before the garden. So you read Genesis and you go right into the story of the serpent and don't know that the serpent spirit predates the garden. So when it says, let us make man in our image in Genesis, it was talking about the Son, Father, and the Holy Spirit. Christ was there in the beginning when the heavens was made. His Spirit. His Spirit. And he beheld Satan hurled to the earth as lightning. Why? We're going to show you why. So he didn't just creep up into the garden and had a problem with mankind for nothing. Okay? He had an agenda. There's a reason Satan wanted to attack and destroy the creation or the image of the Most High in this earth, because he had indignation against the Ancient of Days, the Most High Ahia. Okay? So we're going to show you the serpent's true origin and why he's so adamant with killing and destroying and setting up governments to destroy in the earth. Let's get Ezekiel 28 and 12. Start at 2. Ezekiel 28 and 2.
Ezekiel 28 and 2.
Read.
Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am the Most High. I sit in the seat of the Most High, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man, and not the Most High.
Yet thou art a man, and not the Most High. Why does it say King of Tyrus? See, because since Satan is a spirit, in order for him to execute rule in the earth, he must entice man and set up kings and governments that would do his rule and power in the earth. He must use mankind. So the king of Tyrus, all these different kings, Pharaoh, you name them, were being utilized by Satan. Okay, and he said, and the spirit in the king Tyrus says that I am, and there's none else. So that's Satan claiming to be the Most High. The Most High name is I am. Go down to the 11th verse. And read from 11 to 17.
Verse 11. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus.
Take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say what?
And say unto him, Thus saith the Lord power, Thou sealest up the sum, full of wisdom, and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been and eaten the garden of the Most High.
That's how you know it's talking about the serpent and not the king Tyrus in the book of Ezekiel. Because the king Tyrus was not in the Garden of Eden, but the spirit that was controlling King Tyrus was in the Garden of Eden. The serpent. Read that verse again.
Thou hast been in the garden Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of the Most High. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, the gold, the workmanship of the tabrets and the pipes was prepared in thee the day that thou was created.
So the day that he was created, he was covered in all these different jewelry and diamonds. Lucifer was his name. The light. The morning star. Okay? He was covered in all types of jewels before he fell. He was one of the original angels. Okay? Before the earth was created. Read.
Verse 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth.
He says, Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth the mercy seat up in heaven. So there's two cherubs before the Most High, and Lucifer was one of them. It was Lucifer and Michael, the two holy cherubs in heaven before he fell. Read.
And I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain of the Most High.
He said, you was once up there at the holy mountain of the Most High. You was up there with the Most High at one point. Read.
Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire.
The stones of fire are the angels. So he had a place above the angels. He was up there, holy cherub, a leader of angels. Read.
Verse 15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created, till iniquity was found in thee.
Until sin was found in him. Okay? Lucifer wanted to be like the Most High. Lucifer wanted to disrespect the power that made him. Read.
Verse 16. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of the Most High, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire.
So he was thrown out from amongst the stones of fire. The stones of fire are angels. The angels are made of pure fire. Okay? So Satan was kicked out and had a problem with this decision. So because of that, he made a promise. Go to Isaiah 14. And start at the 12th verse.
Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
How did you fall from heaven, O Lucifer? Read.
Son of the morning.
He was called son of the morning. And the reason he was called son of the morning, he was the morning star. Okay? When a new day is coming in, he was so bright from the heavens, you could see him from the heavens. That's how bright he was. Read.
How art thou cut to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
How did you fall? Which did weaken the nations, to let you know that he would come in the earth and make all the nations weak. Okay? Through warfare, bloodshed, violence. That's what he'd do. He would creep into government and make the nations weak. Read.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven.
Now listen to this promise, because this is key here. We're gonna tie this in at the very end. Once he was hurled, Lucifer promised that he would do what?
I will ascend into heaven.
I will ascend unto heaven. How do you ascend? You have to go up. You have to fly. You have to go above the clouds. So he promised once he was thrown out that one day he would go back up to where the Most High is. How can he do that without using the physical? How can he get back to the heavens without using the people within the earth? He had a plan. Not only would he try to get back out into space, into the heavens, that he would use God's creation to help him fight against the Most High. Read that part again.
For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
So he promised to go beyond the stars of the Most High, which is space. So we know that the Most High is out there in space, because he says, the earth is my footstool. And he says that he would go up to try to sit on the congregation of the Most High. So he came into the earth mad at mankind. He needed to take the dominion of the earth to deceive the nations, to one day help him get back to the Father, to fight. So how can he do that without government? So we're going to go through all the governments, from the ancient government to our present time. Read on.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, and the sides of the north.
The sides of the north is where the Most High is. As far north high as you can go, that's where he is. Okay? Read.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
I will what?
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. That's what Satan promised. Now, in order for him to be like the Most High, he must shed this evil stigma, so to speak. Being a serpent, a cunning serpent, he must deceive the Most High's creation into believing he's good. And that the Most High that did this to him is evil. If he is to be like the Most High, we know that the Most High, or higher, the God of all gods, is worshipped. So he must take God's creation and have them turn their back on the Most High and worship him. Okay? Now we must examine the scriptures thoroughly and make sure we're not deceived. That we're following the God that hurled Satan, not Satan. Here's a precept for that to show you that Satan himself would deceive the people and make you think that he's God or Christ. Go to 2 Corinthians 11th chapter and read the 14th verse.
2 Corinthians 11 and 14.
Read it.
For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Read it again.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
So Satan himself has transformed into an angel of light. See, if he came in his true form, no one would follow him. So he must make you believe you're following God or the Most High. But he cannot do that, again, without physical help from the Most High's creation. Read the next verse.
Verse 15. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
So there is no great thing if his ministers, because Satan have ministers now, also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness. Read.
Whose end shall be according to their works.
And their end shall be according to their works. The ministers that are actually teaching Satan's doctrine, your end will be according to your works, because you should have read and understood what God you will follow. Okay? But going back, Satan appears as an angel of light. So it behooves everyone that's listening, learning, that's reading this Bible, it behooves you to figure out if you're following the angel of light, who's presenting himself as an angel of light, but it's really Lucifer turned Satan. He's going to deceive you. So the only way you'll know is through these scriptures, through filtering doctrine through scripture. But let's get back on the beaten path here. So we understand Lucifer was in the heavens. He was hurled into the earth. He deceived Adam and Eve to do what? Go to Job 9 and 24.
Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Read.
He covereth the face of the judges thereof.
And the wicked will cover the face of the true judges. So because Adam fell, Satan got power over the earth. All dominion was given to Adam when you read that in Genesis, the first chapter. And in the second chapter, you see that he named all the animals. So because of Adam's fall, the earth was given to Satan. Now, he's dealing with a race for time. So before he's judged, he needs to deceive the earth with their participation and go back to the Father and take down the Father. That's his mindset. I know a lot of you thinking, well, who can do that? Well, he's the same spirit that tried to go against the Most High before. That's the spirit that we're dealing with here. Okay? And he don't care. If every man and woman die for him to achieve this mission, then he don't care about that either. He don't care. Okay, so the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. He deceived Adam and Eve in the garden. Therefore, there's a war in the earth, a spiritual war, that's materialized in the physical against the seed that would come through the Most High and the Most High's people and the serpent seed in the earth. And you're going to find that the serpent, read that again, the earth is given to who?
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
This is showing something else too. You know what this is showing? This is showing that government is being controlled by Satan. So now Those of you that have left the Most High because you thought, how can so many bad things be happening if God is in control? Satan got the earth for a time. That's why there's so much evil and wickedness in the earth. He's the same power, because he's a power in this earth. That's what people have made him. Went before Christ and promised to give Christ all the things in the earth if he bowed down and worship him. He promised to give him dominion, power. Yes, the earth was given to him to let you know that these governments are being run by him. But we're going to show you. And no marvel that Satan himself appears as an angel of light on your money. In God we trust. In God we trust. And there's something. It says that on your money. We're going to get this dollar too. We're going to go into it. In God we trust. No marvel that Satan himself appears as an angel of light. Okay. Now we're going to Genesis the sixth chapter here. Genesis 6. You there?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to show you the beginning of how the serpent seed would come into the earth. And this seed would be at variance against the woman's seed. Read Genesis 6 and 1.
Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men, that they were fair.
These sons of the Most High are angels. They saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. Okay? Good looking. These are angels looking at women. Now, how do you know this is angels and not people? When you look at the first verse, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth. That's men and women right there. Having sex and multiplying on the earth. And daughters was born unto them. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. Now, the Roman Catholic Church tried to hide this fact and say, well, these are the children of Seth. We're going to show you why they try to hide the identity of the sons of God. You're going to find that these are the gods they're worshiping in the Catholic Church. These are actually angels that came down and slept with women. Eventually, a lot of people don't know that Satan would eventually take a third of the heavens with him. So there were angels that were enticed, that came in the earth and slept with women. How do we know this? Go to 2 Peter 2 and 4. In the book of Jude. Get 2 Peter 2 and 4.
2 Peter 2 and 4. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned.
If he did what?
For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned.
That's crystal clear. If the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, read.
But cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person.
Now, as you can see, this happened during the same time of who? Noah, the 8th person. Go to Jude, next to Revelations, right before Revelations. Right? I need you to hold Jude and go to Job 1 and 6 to show you who the sons of God are. Read that.
Job 1 and 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord.
Now how many people on this earth go before the Most High to present himself to the Most High every day? go in the heavens and present themselves before the Most High. Read that again.
Job 1 and 6. Now, there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them.
At that time, Satan had entrance into the heavens. So every sundown, the angels go report before the Most High. Satan would come also. Read.
Verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou?
Where you coming from, Satan? Read.
Then Satan answered the Lord, and said, From going to and fro in the earth.
I was just walking up and down in the earth to let you know that that's Satan before the throne. So the sons of God are where? Before the throne. So not only are people are called sons of God, like those that follow the Most High and God's chosen people, like it says in the Bible, the angels are also called the sons of God. Go to the book of Jude 1 and 6.
Jude 1 and 6. And the angels, which kept not their first estate.
What are their first estate? Their first estate was what? The heavens. Read.
But left their own habitation. He hath reserved in everlasting chains, under darkness unto the judgment of that great day.
See that? They're in hell. They are bound in hell. The souls of those angels that came down and slept with women until Christ judged them. Okay? So Satan had a plan. Deceive some of the spirits to come down, to sleep with women, to sin against the Most High. Now they're trapped in the earth. Now that they're trapped in the earth, an evil seed is born. That at that time, Satan was using to destroy mankind. Now we understand why Noah was told prior to that by the Most High to build an ark. Go back to Genesis 6. Read it again. Start at the first verse.
Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the Most High saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
So they went and took themselves wives. Read.
Verse 3. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years.
Go ahead. Cutting the life expectancy of humans. Read.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
There was what?
There were giants in the earth in those days.
Here's the children of those angels. They're called Nephilim, Nephilim. Okay? Satan's seed. A seed through sin that would be at variance against the woman's seed. There were what?
There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of the Most High came unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them.
So even after that, let's know after the flood, they materialized too. Read that last part. They did what?
And they bare children to them.
They gave children to these women. Read.
The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
They became mighty men of old, of renown, which through myth, they're called gods. Yes. These are the gods in mythology. Hercules and all these different, Mercury, and we're going to show you. So these myths didn't come out of the clear sky. All right? This was history before the flood. All right? Men of old men of renown. Read.
Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth.
So much wickedness came from this act of angels sleeping with women. These hybrid beings was teaching all types of evil and wickedness and consuming mankind. It's going to tell you that. Read.
And that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Go ahead.
And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth.
It repented the Most High that even made man. Read.
and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and creeping things, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And guess what? Noah was the woman's seed. So eventually, if the Most High didn't put the Spirit on Noah to make an ark, that creation and those hybrid beings would have consumed the Most High's seed in the earth. The righteous seed that one day his son would come through. And you're going to find that these hybrid beings had inordinate sized skulls. They were very tall. Okay? Science hide this fact through calling them Neanderthal and saying that these people stem from apes 100 billion years ago. Okay? They hide the fact that these beings came to the earth and was dealing with high levels of what you would call angel technology and science to splice creation and splice animals and make hybrid beings like what you would call Tyrannosaurus rexes, dinosaurs, and all these hybrid types of animals that you might buy your kids. So in order to hide the fact that this happened, they masked all this history with science and told you that these animals lived on the earth 100 billion years ago. They did that so that if you're digging in the ground and come across one of these bones, you won't get alarmed. Of these inordinate footprints and skulls. This was Nephilim. This was the seed of the giants, the evil government that was established in the earth because they were set up as governors for a time during Noah's time. How do we know this? Don't forget, Satan works through government. It's written in the book of Jasher that they would set up as judges. Now I know a lot of you asking, hold up, he just said that he only going to go out of the Bible in the Apocrypha. But you are correct. I am going to go out of the Bible. Coming straight from the Bible. I need you to get Joshua 10 and 13. Read that.
Joshua 10 and 13. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is it not written in the book of Jasher?
Is it not written in the book of Jasher? So the Bible refer you to the book of Jasher. Yes. This is the book that the Catholic Church know exists. They'll never give it to you. The Bible refers us to the book of Jasher. Why? Because it's the book of our forefathers. This book in Hebrew was in the ark. And if you think that that was just a typo, go to 2 Samuel 1 and 18.
2 Samuel 1 and 18. Also he bade them, teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher.
It is written in the book of Jasher. It was translated out of the original Hebrew. Okay? The book of Jasher. And the same as your Bible, when you read, it says, faithfully translated from the original Hebrew into English. Okay? And it shows you in the book of Jasher that these giants and the angels that came down and slept with women were set up as judges. And they started doing all types of evil and wickedness and splicing of animals. How do we know this? I need you to read in the book of Jasher, the 4th chapter, and start at the 16th verse, right? And read down to the 19th verse. Read it.
Jasher 4 and 16. And all the sons of men departed from the ways of the Lord in those days, as they multiplied upon the face of the earth, with sons and daughters. And they taught one another their evil practices, and they continued sinning against the Lord. And every man made unto himself a god.
He made himself a what?
Unto himself a god.
They started dealing with idolatry and making gods to themselves before the flood. Now we understand why the Catholic Church is hiding the fact that these were actual angels. Because look how many idols and gods they worship up in their church. They even worship dead people. Read.
And they robbed and plundered every man his neighbor, as well as his relative. And they corrupted the earth, and the earth was filled with violence. And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men.
That's how you know it's talking about the angels. Went to the daughters of men. They're the judges. They're set up. Satan has set these guys up. Read.
And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men, and took their wives by force from their husbands,
Go ahead.
according to their choice.
They committed adultery. Not only did they choose women, these were other men women. Read.
And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth, and the beasts of the field, the fowls of the air, and took the mixture of animals.
They took the mixture of animals. They started mixing animals with each other. Reptiles with beasts. Read.
And took the mixture of animals of one species with the other.
With one species to the other. That's your dinosaurs. Read.
In order therewith to provoke the Lord. And the Most High saw saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, all men and all animals. And the Lord said, I will blot out man, that I created from the face of the earth, yea, from man to the birds of the air, together with cattle and beasts that are in the field, for I repented that I made them.
Same thing we read in Genesis, but it's in more detail. That's why they don't want you to have the book of Jasher, because this destroys your science and your philosophers. The knowledge of the Most High destroys your science. Okay? That's where your dinosaurs come from. So the Most High had to put the spirit on Noah to save the woman's seed. Alright? Now, got away. Noah got away with his children, but Satan, here it is, he's still on the earth. So he had to work on the other side of the flood. So he had to get into someone else to start his cycle again, to one day destroy the woman's seed.
With Nimrod, that while he was said to be the inventor of fire,
He was said to be the inventor of fire. So he was using fire as weaponry. Read.
he was also regarded as the first that gathered mankind into communities.
He was the first to gather mankind into communities. Read.
Along with the sun, as the great fire god, and in due time identified with him, was the serpent worshipped.
Hold up. It says the sun as the fire god. Read that part again, the last part you read.
Along with the sun, as the great fire god.
The sun as the great fire god. So he actually instituted the worshiping of the sun, or the acknowledgement of Sunday. And don't forget, this is the beginning here. This is way in Genesis. This is way before Constantine and the Catholic Church and the Romans. Read on.
Was the serpent worshipped.
Was the what worshipped?
Was the serpent worshipped.
So who gave Nimrod his power? The serpent from the garden. Read on.
In the mythology of the primitive world, the serpent is universally the symbol of the sun. In Egypt, one of the most commonest symbols of the sun or sun god is a disc or a serpent around it.
I need you to show the image of the serpent that was worshipped during ancient Babylon. See that?
Got that.
Okay. So, now the serpent is going to use the government with Nimrod as the chief king and spiritual leader to put the people in communities and teach them ways against the Most High, to build a tower to fight against the Most High, to go into the heavens and fight the Most High. And you're going to find that this blueprint Nimrod used is used and it's advanced through each civilization. You're going to find Alexander the Greek used the same pattern as Nimrod. The Romans used the same pattern as Nimrod. America used the same pattern as Nimrod. Control the communities, control their thinking, and help them build. Join their armies, join their armed forces, join their, their lifestyle, to eventually use all your spirit and your force to get out in space and fight against the Most High. And while you're doing it, you're worshiping the serpent. We're going to bring it all together. Let's go into Nimrod real quick. Go to Genesis 11. Start at the first verse. Let's read a little quicker so we can get through it.
Genesis 11:1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one.
The people is one. Now they're one with Satan. They're not one with him. They're one against him. Satan again. The people are one. Read.
And they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
So if the Most High didn't stop them, they would have accomplished their feat, their mission. Okay? Their mission was to get before the Most High, because Lucifer knew exactly where the Most High is, but he need to use resources within the physical to one day get out in space. Read.
Verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language.
Let's stop their language. So the angels had to come down and stop them from communicating. And it tell you in the book of Jasher that the Tower of Babel was so high, it would take 1.5 years for a man to walk from the base of it to the top. And it wasn't finished yet when the Most High confounded the language. That's how tall this building was. Read.
Go to, let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound their language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon all the face of the earth.
So, as you can see, for this feat, for them trying to do this evil act, there goes Lucifer again, trying to get back to the heavens, using people, communities, and government to be in one mindset against the Most High, to worship Him with the sun and fire, and to be at variance against the Most High. Now, I'm sure a lot of these people thought they were doing the right thing. They were being deceived. The cunning serpent. He did it in the garden. He did it before the flood. Now he's doing it after the flood. Okay? Now, after this happened, okay, all the nations who reverenced Nimrod as a god that was under him, even though their language was split, they took the same ideology and the same understanding of the worship of Nimrod and his mother Semiramis with them. That's the reason you can go to each culture and see the similarities in each religion. Alright? So they were able to take these religions that Nimrod gave them and start them in their own lands in different languages. Same religion, different language. Alright? So that's why certain things are celebrated at the same time all over the earth. Like December 25th. You might think that that's a newfound holiday to follow here in America, when America is really a modern society. People were celebrating December 25th well before Christ was on the earth. Nimrod's birthday is December 25th. Yes, ancient Babylon. You name it. I'm going to go into a few of those. I have it right there in front of me. All these societies started their worship and their belief and their structure of government from ancient Babylon. Okay, there's no separation of church and state. In order to get the people to follow Satan, he must control your government and how you're governed, and you have to control your spiritual connection. You have to control your spirit religiously, and you have to control your form of government. There's no separation. You must control the two. Alright? Now, going along, it went into Egypt. We're not going to go all the way into Egypt right now. We're going to say that for another time. We're going to do a tape on Egyptology. But we mentioned from Babylon to Rome to America, the satanic connection. In this book, I'm going to get it. I'm going to read something, if you don't mind. It shows. That's how you know it. This is the reason. This is how you know that it's talking about that all the nations, that were at the tower took the same worship, because they all had the Madonna, which is Semiramis, Nimrod's mother, and the virgin baby. Okay? They had the same gods, and they took them all over the earth. So it doesn't matter what society you go into, you will find the same deities. You have people with the mother in Madonna that have never frequented Europe, ever in their life. Let me get it out of here real quick here. Here's an example from ancient Babylon. You have Semiramis and child in ancient Babylon. Okay? And the same in India. See that? Same in India, these figures. So they were able to take the Madonna and child with them, because this is what they learned under Nimrod. Different language, same religion. And this links directly to our religions today. Primarily Christianity. Alright? I'm going to read. Exactly so in this latter respect. And I'm on page 20. Also was in ancient Babylon. The Babylonian and the popular religion supremely worshipped a goddess mother and a son, who was represented in pictures and in images, okay, as an infant or child in the mother's arms. From Babylon, this worship of the mother and the child spread to the ends of the earth. In Egypt, the mother of the child was worshipped under the names of Isis and Osiris. In India, even to this day, as Isi and Iswara. In Asia, as Cybele and Diois. In pagan Rome, as Fortuna and Jupiter Pior, or Jupiter the boy. In Greece, as Ceres, the great mother with the babe at her breasts. I wonder. In ancient Babylon, I see the goddess, the pagan goddess, a star, holding a torch. From ancient Babylon. Okay, at this time, during this period, this is archaeology. There were no pictures. Alright? This is how they made their pictures, from stone. And then later on, in Rome, she was called Ceres, which is the pagan satanic Roman goddess. And this is the same goddess as Semiramis in Rome. And she have horns. And lo and behold, the French sent her to us, or America, in 1886. Same gods, different language. The serpent. I'm going to hold this for later. So the question we have is, how did it get from Babylon to Rome to America? So now we understand. The serpent is using each society in setting up government and religious structures to control the communities and bring them into one order under him. Now, to further go into the knowledge on how this went from Babylon to Rome, we must first go into the two children, Jacob and Esau. Okay? Now you must go into the beginning. That's why we're starting here in Genesis, to understand our present time. Let's go to Genesis, the 25th chapter, to show you how the serpent would come into one of these nations and cause racial tension in the earth, where it would be in the future one race fighting against another race. The serpent seed and the woman seed. Who would he use? How did he get to Rome, or to Greece, or to America? Let's go to Genesis 25 and start at 21. Read.
Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren.
So Isaac prayed to the Most High because she was barren. She could not have any children. Rebekah could not have any children at this time. Read.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
The Lord heard his prayer. Rebekah got pregnant. Read.
And the children struggled together within her.
So she didn't have one child in her womb. There was two. They struggled together. It was a fight in her womb. Read.
And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
So she's asking, Lord, if you've blessed me to have children when I couldn't, why am I going through these inordinate pains? So the pain was so severe, she went to talk to the Most High. Why is she going through these pains in her womb, in her belly? What is it? Read.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb.
Two nations are in thy womb. Now the Lord is letting her know why she's dealing with these struggle and these inordinate pains in her stomach. Two nationalities or two races is in this one woman's womb. Read.
And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
He told Rebekah, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. They ought to be separated from birth. Okay? Read.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. Now look, there's two different races coming into the earth. One stronger than the other. Okay? So obviously, in the future, there will be somewhat racial tension. Alright? See, we don't understand why there's racial tension today because we don't read the Old Testament. We don't read the Bible. and understand that these things were predestined. One shall be stronger than the other, and what?
And the elder shall serve the younger.
So the Lord told Rebekah that the first child that come out of your womb will be the servant to the younger brother. Read.
Verse 24. And where her days were to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
So when it was time for her to have children, the prophecy was fulfilled. They were twins. She brought forth twins. Now let's imagine this. Let's put our minds back here for a moment. Now we know that usually the first child that's born is the heir to the inheritance of his father. But the Lord was doing something different here. He said the elder shall serve the younger. Now, based on that alone, you can see how the serpent can creep up in the future on this older child. Because everything belongs to him, right? He's the heir. But the Lord says the elder shall serve the younger. So now you can see how it's coming into play. How the serpent can use that as a pretext, an opportunity to link to the older child. But I don't want to give it all away. I'm going to show you how it happened according to Scripture. But it's nothing that Esau, who came out first, there's nothing he could do. And we're going to show that. Because the prophecy was written before Jacob and Esau was born. Read the next verse.
Verse 25.
We're at 25 and 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Read.
And the first came out red.
And the first came out red.
All over like an hairy garment.
And the first child, the servant, came out red, all over like a hairy garment. Okay? And there's no such thing. Now this is where race come into play. I know it's a little delicate, but we have to tell the truth. Because all races are contained in the earth. This is where race come into play. There's no such thing as black people per se. Okay? Like for instance, let me grab something here. This is a headband. This is black. There's no such thing as black people. People are shades of brown. By the same token, there's no such thing as white people. This sheet of paper is white. Alright? The first came out red because the first child did not have melanin. Melanin is what makes you brown. If you don't have melanin, your blood show forth through your skin. That's red. If you pinch yourself, that becomes red. Okay? The first came out red. Perfect example. If I show you a picture of Cesar Borgia, like we're going to show you a little later. As you can see, the paper around him, the color around him, which is the paper, is white. But you see Cesar Borgia, he's shades of red or pink. That's just an example that we're going to bring out later. So the first, now this is a phenomenon in the earth. This is the first time and the first and only time where two different nations are going to come out of the same woman. So when her days were to be delivered, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name who?
And they called his name Esau.
That's Esau. That's the first brother. That is the father. That is the father of the purebred Idumean or Edomite or Caucasian race. Read on.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out.
It says, and after that came his brother. And what was his name?
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
And his hand took hold of Esau's heel. Read.
And his name was called Jacob.
And his name was Yaquab or Jacob. Alright? So now, as you notice, the Bible did not describe the color of Jacob. Why? Because Jacob looked exactly like the other people in the earth. There was no need for description. But because there was a new race coming into the earth, diverse or different, and a different mannerism from the people before it, the Bible had to identify the different child. Okay? The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Alright? Don't forget, the Bible says that Esau was to be the servant. After his brother came out, and it says, and Jacob's hand took hold of Esau's heel. So what do that represent? Okay? Is that an analogy? Let's see. Go to the Apocrypha and get 2nd Esdras out of the Apocrypha. You have it in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have a Bible with the Apocrypha in it right here. Read 2nd Esdras 6, 8, and 9 to give the precept on what that means that Jacob took hold of Esau's heel. Now you have to understand how this works. The head or the crown is the beginning. The heel is the end. The head is the beginning that comes out. The heel is the end. 2nd Esdras 6, 8, and 9. Read that.
2nd Esdras 6 and 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, and Jacob and Esau were born of him.
Go ahead.
Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. You know, his foot is the end. Why? Read.
Verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
For Esau is the end of the world. So that's showing, according to Scripture, who would be ruling at the end of the world. We're at the end of the world. And we know that after this rulership, Christ will bring Jacob's rulership, or Israel's rulership, in the earth. It's going to read it. Read on.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. To show you that it will be a change of hands or change of dominion without separation. The hand was connected to the heel. So as soon as Esau's power or kingdom fall, Jacob's is next without separation. So when Christ come back, he's bringing forth Jacob's kingdom. That show you that Esau is the end of the world, identifying who are the children of Esau, according to the Bible. Go back to Genesis 25. Because just like we mentioned earlier, how the serpent need a nation or government or people to execute his rule in the physical. Alright? Now we're going to show you how this happened here. Go back to Genesis 25 and finish reading. Because it's going to show you some attributes of Jacob and Esau. Okay? Read.
Verse 27. And the boys grew.
Genesis 25 and 27. The boys grew.
And Esau was a cunning hunter.
He was a what?
Was a cunning hunter.
Esau was a cunning hunter. Who was the first hunter? Nimrod. A cunning hunter. See, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So Esau's children will be just like his father. Jacob's children would be just like his father. Esau was a cunning hunter, out in the field killing animals and doing all type of gaming in the field. Okay, read.
A man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Jacob was a what?
Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
So Jacob didn't like the outside, the killing deer and sporting outside. Jacob stayed home. He dealt with things, you know, the domestic things around the house or around the neighborhood. He didn't go out into the field. Okay? Read.
Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau, because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
See, Isaac loved Esau because Esau went to get the food. Okay? But Rebekah loved who? Jacob. You know why? Because of that vision or that prophecy the Most High gave her. to tell her that the elder shall serve the younger. So she knew the blessed child. She cleaved to the blessed child, the child that the Most High chose before they were born. Okay? Read on.
Verse 29. And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field.
So Jacob was making some pottage. You know, he was a man that stayed home in the tent, so he used to make the food. He stayed around moms. So he learned how to cook. So he was sodding some pottage, and what happened with Esau?
And Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
He was faint, like he was ready to die. He needed some nourishment. Read.
Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint.
He said, feed me with that same red pottage. So there was blood in the water. The food or the meat was not done. Feed me with that same red pottage. Read.
For I am faint.
Go ahead.
Therefore was his name called Edom.
Edom, which means red or blood. Red. So because he liked his food rare, his name was changed to Edom. Read.
Verse 31. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright.
So Jacob said, okay, I'll feed you. Let me get that birthright. Read.
Verse 32. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?
He said, listen, I'm going to die anyway. What good is this birthright? So he didn't even have respect of the gift of the birthright that the Most High gave him. Okay? Now, we know that before they were born, it was already prophesied the elder shall serve the younger. But this is that prophecy playing out in the physical. Okay? Cause and effect. Things have to happen to allow the prophecy to come to pass. So the Most High had him out in the field dealing with something to the point where he thought he was going to die. He was so faint. He needed nourishment. And that's when the opportunity presented itself for Jacob to get the birthright. The same birthright the Most High told Rebekah that second child would receive. Okay? Read.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink, and rose up, and he went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
Esau despised his own birthright. You see that? So now the prophecies are being fulfilled. Jacob, which is the future father of the Israelites, now have the birthright. It's established that the birthright went to Jacob. All right? Now, I know some would think that Jacob is the bad guy here. He deceived him. He tricked him into getting the birthright when it didn't belong to him. All right? But when you read Genesis, it distinctly tells us that the prophecy of the birthright would go to Jacob. Don't forget, Rebekah was told the elder shall serve the younger. The older, or the elder, is Esau. He was meant to be a servant to Jacob, his younger brother. So this was just a scenario played out to allow that prophecy to be fulfilled. So, but in case you think that, because it is taught in Christian churches today, and I'm going to show you why later, why they teach that Jacob was a deceiver and he was wrong, and you know, they call him the deceiver in churches. When in the New Testament, it tells us why the Most High set a scenario for Jacob to get the birthright. Go to Romans, the 9th chapter, and read. Let's start at the 11th verse.
Romans 9 and 11. For the children.
Start at the 10th verse. And you follow us. Read.
Verse 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil.
It says the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. So it was told to Rebekah before they was born.
before they were born, before Jacob side pottage, before Esau was in the field, it was said to her what?
That the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand.
That the purpose according to election might stand. The Most High elected Jacob before he was born to get the birthright and the blessing. So we can't look at the scenarios that allow that to happen and point to that and say that Jacob is wrong. Read.
Not of works.
Not of works. It's nothing they did, but what?
But of him that calleth.
But of him that calleth. It's the Most High that called Jacob to be the chosen. Read.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
It was said to Rebekah, the elder shall serve the younger. The pottage was just a scenario to allow that prophecy to come to pass. Read.
As it is written.
As it is written where? In the Bible. In the book of Malachi. What's written?
Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Jacob have the Most High loved, but Esau have he hated. Okay? Now he loved Jacob because he gave his laws, statutes, and commandments to Jacob. In the Old Testament, Jacob is called the Most High's woman. Okay? He's a wife of the Most High. Why? Because these are the people the Most High will give his laws, statutes, and commandments to execute his power in the earth, to show the earth righteousness. He says, Esau have I hated, because Esau was the reverse of Jacob. Esau is setting up things contrary to the laws of the Most High. And we're going to show that. The serpent seed and the woman seed. We're going to show that. Okay? So it's not of works, but the Most High that calleth. He chose one. And some of you might feel a certain type of way about that and say, well, that's not right. Hold up. Even the image of the Most High, which are humans, have choice. Okay? I decided to put a white shirt on this evening. Now, I have different color shirts in my closet. But because the shirts belong to me, I can choose what shirt I want to put on. The yellow shirt can't jump out of my closet and say, why you didn't wear me? I own the white shirt and the yellow shirt and the red shirt and the green shirt. So the other shirts can't come and say, why don't you wear me? I chose my shirt. So if we can choose, cannot the Most High? So that means the Most High have put attributes in the image of him that he didn't even give himself. Okay? So yes, the Most High do choose. And you're going to find out through that choice that Lucifer, or Satan, that's who he is now, used this scenario between these two children as a pretext to link to the hurt child. To link to the child that was hurt, that felt deprived, because he felt deprived when he was hurled. To bring forth government and religion. Since the Most High didn't want to give Esau the blessing and the birthright, Satan promised him the world and to hand Jacob over to him if he would serve and set up a world for Satan so that the people could worship Satan. We're going to prove that. That's where your pagan beliefs come in at. He couldn't do it with Nimrod. Nimrod was finished. He tried it before the flood. The Most High flooded the earth. He tried it with Nimrod after the flood. The Most High split the tongue. Now, Satan is trying it again. I'm going to show you. He can only link into you if you are emotional or if you're dealing with some type of hatred towards your brother. And you're going to find that Satan linked in with Esau. And we're going to show you the point that he linked into him. Okay? We're going to show you that point. He linked into Esau to set governments and a structure in the earth where Satan could rule and be worshipped as the Most High. But let's get to the blessing to show you why Esau got so angry or became so angry? Go to Genesis 27:1. Start at the first verse. Read.
Genesis 27:1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold now, I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore, take, I pray thee, take weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat of thy father, such as he loveth.
Now let's show this. Examine this for a second. All right. She overheard Isaac telling Esau to go make some meat. So Esau go to hunt. Right? She overhear this and go get Jacob and say, No, Jacob, I'm going to make this food for you just the way your father loved it. Right? Now just examine this for a second. Some of you might think she's wrong for doing this. But why is Rebekah doing this? Remember the children struggling in her womb? And she went and asked the Most High, why is this pain so hard? Why am I hurting like this? And the Most High says, 2 nations are in thy womb. There's a fight in your womb, woman. And the elder child shall serve the younger. They was fighting so much that even at the end, when it was time for her to deliver the baby, he had his hand on Esau's heel. They was fighting in the womb the whole time. And the Most High told her, listen, the elder shall serve the younger. Yes. So now, she's helping the prophecy be fulfilled. She cannot let Esau come back with that venison and get the blessing, knowing that the Most High gave her the information to know that that blessing belonged to her son Jacob. Now, why didn't Isaac know this? Because the Most High didn't tell Isaac. He told Rebekah. Okay? Read.
Verse 11. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man.
He said, but hold up, I'm smooth. Esau is hairy. I'm not going to be able to get away with this. What did the mother say?
Verse 12. My father peradventure will fill me, and I shall see to him as a deceiver. And I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing.
Go ahead.
And his mother said unto him,
Go ahead.
Upon me be thy curse, my son.
He said, let the curse be on me. She knew everything was going to be all right. Because the Most High told her before the children were born. Read.
Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went, and fetched, and he brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of the eldest son Isaac, which were with her in the house, and put upon them Jacob her son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave. So
that's how hairy this guy was. Esau was so hairy that she had to take fur off of skin and put it on Jacob's hands. That was a hairy guy. Read.
Verse 17. And she gave the savory meat and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that my soul may bless me.
Go ahead.
And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord power brought it to me.
Now, was he lying right here? No, he wasn't lying. The Most High did bring it to him. The Most High had his mother Rebecca overhear the conversation he had with Esau. And the Most High made it so that he could get this blessing, because it was promised before the children was born. I'm going to keep repeating that, because it's taught in the Christian church. They try to make Jacob out to be this deceiver or liar. They call him in the Christian church Jacob the deceiver. When the Most High promised Jacob and his children everything in the earth before they were born. Read.
Verse 21. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may fill thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not.
Go ahead.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
Go ahead.
And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother Esau as his brother's Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am.
Go ahead.
And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelt the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore the Most High give thee the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee.
Man, that's a blessing right there. Read.
Cursed be everyone that curseth thee.
Cursed be everyone that go against you. Read.
And blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce going out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting.
No soon as Jacob got this blessing and left, Esau coming, now here he is. He got his animal and everything. You know, he was probably sweating, all out in the field, jumping behind trees, shooting things, trying to make it work. Now he finally have this venison, all tired after hunting. And what do we have to show for it? Read the next verse. What verse are you at here?
Verse 31.
Read that.
And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father.
So he was then cooking, he was putting the seasons on that thing, he was getting it ready. And then what happened?
And said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou?
Who are you? Read.
And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
He said, yeah, and he gonna be blessed. Like I can't take that blessing back. That's what Isaac is saying here. Read.
Verse 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry.
So he got totally upset. Read.
And he said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father.
Can you give me something, Father? What did Isaac bless him with? Read.
And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, It is not he rightly named Jacob?
He said, listen, I'll name that kid right. His name is Jacob. Jacob is Ya'iqua, which means supplanter. He knows how to supplant. Read.
For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
Go ahead.
He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
Yes. He took away his blessing. Why? Because the blessing belonged to Jacob before they were born. All right? So now, you know, this guy is totally upset. First of all, he is the firstborn. He came out first. His father loved him. All right? And he did everything right for his father. He did it right. Went out to get the kid. The kid goat, killed the goat, did everything right. And Jacob got it before him. Now, most people would get upset here. You have to realize this is not a regular blessing here. This blessing comes down to the people that will rule the universe. starting with the earth. Read.
And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
He said, listen, Father, can you give something to me? Read.
And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren I have given to him for servants, and with corn and with wine have I sustained him.
Go ahead.
And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
He said, listen, I done gave everything to your brother. What can I do for you? Read.
And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father?
Father, at least give me one blessing. Now I need you to examine this blessing carefully. Through this blessing, if you haven't already, you will be able to identify who Esau is today. Read.
Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live.
By the what?
And by the sword shalt thou live.
By the sword you should live. So you will live by killing. You will live by war. You will live as the hunter. Read.
And shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
He says, it's going to come a time, Esau, you will have dominion. You will rule the earth. At that time, you shall break the yoke of this curse off of your neck. So he's telling Esau, there will come a time that Jacob will be under you. And we're in that time now. You're going to find out that's why the minorities catch so much pain, so much sorrow in this earth because of what happened right here. Read.
Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
Go ahead.
And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Then I will what?
Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Then I will slay my brother Jacob. So he promised that once his father died, he would one day take Jacob down. And that's being fulfilled in the earth right now. So because he hated his brother, what spirit came into him? Dealing with so much emotion, sorrow, and anger. Satan. So he promised that once his father died, he would one day take Jacob down. And that's being fulfilled in the earth right now. So because he hated his brother, what spirit came into him? Dealing with so much emotion, sorrow, and anger. Satan. There was another spirit in the beginning that had the same spirit. Lucifer, because he was so beautiful and was hurled into the earth, he had a problem against the Most High and took down Adam. Then you had Cain, because he was jealous of his brother, murdered his brother Abel. Now you have Esau, who felt that he rightfully deserved the birthright and blessing, and it went to his brother Jacob. So Satan used those that are hurt, those that don't forgive. He come in and take them and use them for his purpose. Now, let's move this into modern times, because we're gonna see if we can get through this quickly. Matter of fact, let's stay back a little bit. Let's go into the origin of Esau so we can see who the serpent was using against God's people Israel and what tools they use in the earth. Spiritually, which is government, spiritually, which is through religion, and politically through government. Get Esau out of here. This is Zondervan Bible Dictionary, a compact Bible dictionary by Zondervan. One of the better Bible dictionaries you can purchase. All right. Let's get Esau out of the Bible dictionary here. Esau. says, no, let's get Edom, because we know that his name was turned to Edom after he ate that red pottage. Edom. And this also proves, when we read this, that Edom is still in the earth. You have people teaching that Edom no longer exists, but can't give you the dates in history of when Esau was totally exterminated. That's madness. You have people in the earth saying Edom don't exist anymore, and you have people that says that Israel don't exist anymore. The true Israelites don't exist anymore. That's madness. How can the two of the main people that fare prominently in prophetic scriptures don't exist? Read Edom from the Bible dictionary here. Read that.
Edom figures prominently in prophetic scriptures.
Go ahead.
As the scene of great future judgments.
As the what?
As the scene of great future judgments.
As the scene of great future judgments. Edom is still here. He just hid himself by calling himself different names. That's Psalms 49 and 11. Read.
She is the only neighbor of the Israelites.
She's the only neighbor of the Israelites
who is not given any promise of the mercy of the Most High.
That have not received any promise or mercy from the Most High. Why? Because Satan linked into him after he was upset. And because Esau lost the birthright, he became lawless. So when Satan gave him dominion, he decided to set up an earth without laws and without morals. But he can only do this through government and power and through fear when it comes to weaponry. So, let's bring it up. Let's go to Genesis 36. Let's get through it now to show you how Esau set himself up, because even Isaac let him know that the yoke would be broke off of him, that one day he would rule in the earth. And you're going to find out he ruled. He ruled as who? He ruled as the Greeks, the Romans, the 10 horns, and he eventually ruled America. We're going to show you the connection between ancient Babylon, Rome, and that satanic government is the one we're living in today. Until this day, Esau still have his foot on Jacob's neck. In Genesis 36. Stick with me. Now we're talking about from the government structure. We're not talking about individuals. There are some Edomites or people of Esau that are not following the spirit of their father. They're following the spirit of Christ. So let's make that distinction. We're not putting all these Edomites in the same, in the same barrel here. Read Genesis 36 and 1. Read it.
Genesis 36 and 1. Now these are the generations of Esau.
These are the generations of Esau.
Who was Edom. Esau took his wives.
Esau is who?
Who was Edom.
Esau is Edom. Edom means red. The Idumeans were Edomites. When did they dwell? Go down to the 9th verse.
Verse 9. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites.
The father of who?
Of the Edomites.
So all the children that came from Esau are Edomites. These are their biblical names. Now it's hard to find out who they are today, because when Esau got power in the earth, he renamed all the people in the earth. He started calling people different names, like European influence on certain names. Chinese and Japanese and African and all these different names that are not biblical names. They did this to hide themselves. Hold that, and I'm going to show that. Go to Psalms 49 and 11. Even though they try to hide themselves, they are identified by prophecy.